Welcome back. This is Take a Pitch. I'm Billy. That is Max. We do not have Hinden and Macca with us today, but they're with us in spirit. They helped us produce and create content for this video.
Yeah.
And they will be back next week as the norm. And yeah.
Fire intro.
Thank
Not
you.
gonna lie.
Thank you.
Just heat.
Handmade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, you've been grinding.
I have.
But,
3 weeks straight, every day.
There
Been
you
doing
go.
work. Like Gary Vee
There's
says,
nothing else
right?
to do.
You got to do what is it? 10 hours a day of work?
10 hours, yeah, or
Something like that.
yeah.
Whatever. You have to do work.
Put in the work if you want the results.
Exactly. And I could say confidently that I have most definitely been putting in the work.
Oh, 100%. And you're seeing the results you. I mean, the quality of our shit's gone way up, and all thanks to you.
Yeah, and it's just playing around and learning new things, and just taking your time and having fun with it. Honestly, for me, I find it so interesting. I've never taken a class, or I don't have any background in graphic design or video editing or audio editing. I've watched a couple YouTube videos and, just go to it. And that's the way you learn, honestly. You want to learn something, if you want to learn something, watch a couple YouTube videos and just jump into it. No matter what you have, the best equipment that you could work on is the equipment that you have.
Right.
Work with the equipment that you have and, grow from there.
Yeah, I mean, and once people hear that you didn't have no background in this, they're gonna be like, "Holy shit!" Because dude, you're pumping out like literally professional grade shit.
I mean, I wouldn't say professional, but
with what we're working with,
dude. Yeah, I'm using all fucking free shit. I'm using
Paint.
iMovie and Paint for the edits and
wait.
No, don't give away my secret. Just Paint. And iMovie, and then just finding the right stuff and just toying with it and having fun.
You're also a visual person, so like you're able to see all these great things that what'll flow with this, what'll do that, and it's really led to some great quality stuff we have, and thanks to you.
And like you said when we had one of our auto-tune nights.
Those were some of the best nights too.
Yeah, those were fun as fuck. But I remember you saying to me that because I said something about one of the songs, and you're like, oh, you have that ear. I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, it's like called a radio ear or something.
Yeah, you just know what works.
Yeah.
You should have the ear for it's the best way to explain it is you just have that one. Everybody talks about that it factor, right? You have the ear for the it factor.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear this and that, and you just know.
Break it down, determine it.
Like you have an isolation ear, pretty much.
Right.
You can isolate this piece and that piece, and you just have that gift, I guess.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's a talent.
Thank you. But with no time to waste, I mean, we had on St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Center fielder.
Gator, man. He was a great conversation and just a total bro, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Really down to earth guy, and you could tell the New York roots were there, just in the casual conversation. You could tell.
Yeah. It was such an easy talk. It wasn't I mean I'm never stressed before it.
Always. I always am.
I know some people are.
Dude, I was eating all morning. It was bad.
And I came very prepared this time with
we both did.
With my color coordinated notes. And yeah, man, I mean,
you and me both. Hang on. Can't really see because of the lighting, but yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Got my take a pitch binder.
There you go.
Featuring the old logo.
Hey. There you go.
But yeah, no, just a down to earth dude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, he was cool. It was different. It was more like, talking to your homie.
You can tell he joined us because he wanted to join us. He wanted to chat and talk baseball.
Exactly.
And he said towards the end of our conversation that he's a baseball nerd.
Yeah.
And that's really what you and I are, and it's what so many of us are, that we're craving this. I think I sent you the text. At this point, I'll take a 5-inning game ending in a rain delay umpired by Angel Hernandez if it meant we got baseball.
Yeah. Dude,
I'll take a Yankee Braves game.
I would love to see a Yankee Braves game.
Oh my God, two great teams. But like I said, I'm that desperate for baseball. I'll let Angel Hernandez be my umpire.
Dude, I don't care. I'll let one of the fucking little league umpires be the umpires, dude. Like, I don't care.
Or
I don't care.
Jim Joyce at first, right?
Yeah, dude, he made one mistake.
He really is a very good umpire. But we didn't talk about bad umpires with Harrison Bader.
No.
We really just talked about who he was as a person, and we got to know him a little bit.
Yeah. It was more personable. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, and hopefully we get to have him on again. Get to have him on again in the future, hopefully, and I think we can call him a friend of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely a guy who, I can see myself sitting down having a beer with him.
Yes.
Just a good guy, and I feel like we're depriving our listeners of this conversation the more we just gush about it.
Yeah. With no time to waste.
Here he is.
Harrison Bader.
You're gonna take a pitch.
Take a pitch.
All right, so take a pitch. We're special edition here. Take a pitch at home edition. We're here with Harrison Bader, outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Thanks for joining us, Harrison.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Happy to be here.
So first off, how have you been keeping busy during this whole quarantine thing?
You said it right there. I'm just trying to keep it simple and keep busy. A lot of that could be, athletically, physically. Obviously, the workouts. I'm doing my best to keep, a good routine, not overdoing it, definitely not underdoing it, but just staying busy, man. Just getting out of the house, trying to avoid staying inside for too long. I'm supposed to be obviously in season now, so I'm trying to get, into a mode where I'm tricking my mind to kind of get some sunlight and be outside. So, just trying to be super positive and just, again, like you mentioned, stay busy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, is there any workouts you're doing that are maybe more off-season, tailored to like off-season training, or is it all like trying to keep your body in season mode?
Yeah, so it's all in season mode. So it's a lot of resistance bands, a lot of just lightweight stuff, just stuff kind of head to toe, full body, just keeping everything working together. In the off season, we have the luxury of being able to split the days up. So one day I'll do lower body, the other day I'll do upper body. And mix it up from there. But, because, again, I'm trying to trick my mind and remain in that in-season mode, I'm doing just full-body lifts. A lot of it's kind of tailored around just keeping my arm in shape because I don't really have the option to throw as much as I normally would. So, a lot of weighted ball stuff. But, again, just getting a good total body sweat and, just get in, get out.
I mean, are you throwing with anyone or at all? I mean, I know you said you don't really have the option. Is there even any possibility? Have you been able to be even near the complex at all, or?
Yeah. I got a couple friends, first name's Concrete, last name's Wall. That's all I really got. I'm throwing it back to the old school. I'm taking one out of Willie McGee's book. You'd always tell us if you don't have a throwing partner, it's not an excuse. And then you got to use a concrete wall. So I've been doing that in the past. So I'm just kind of turning myself back to those days. So yeah.
Those New York City roots, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, That's really all you can do at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
I know Billy's my throwing partner. I mean, we've been itching to throw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
way
no
too
doubt.
long.
I mean, I'll throw anything now. I'm throwing plates against the wall. I'm throwing footballs. I'm doing whatever I got to do to just keep the motion. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter what object's flying out.
Yeah. Yeah. You have any special, batting cage training that you're doing right now? To
Not
stay
really,
in shape?
man.
No.
Not really. I have access to a tee, taking some dry swings. I'm just
Right.
I'm doing what I have to do to be ready. But again, it's about just keeping your mind prepared and wrapped around the situation here, and just adding some physical speed to it with regards to some of the reps I'm taking if I'm going to take some swings. So
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. And you're down in Florida right now?
I'm in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
stay down here when everybody else dispersed.
Yeah.
So we know you're from New York. So how's your family doing? Everybody healthy, and family and friends are all healthy?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Family's doing well. Everybody's safe. All my friends, everybody, my extended family, if you will, everybody's safe. Haven't had any reports of anything overly negative. So that's obviously the most important thing here. So thank you. Yes, everyone's good.
Of course. Glad to hear that. And before we get into all the baseball stuff, you're a New York City guy, and a lot of small businesses have been hurting. Are there any small businesses that you know of that are still open that you may want to give a shout out to, that maybe people who are listening from the city, or just in the future, that they can go kind of help out kind of in the recovery efforts?
Yeah, absolutely. Cage in the Bronx, Sluggers Baseball Academy on 136th in the Bronx. I don't know the extent to which they're still open and operating, but I definitely know that there are kids coming in and out of there. I follow them on Instagram, and I'm always checking up. So, with regards to a bunch of restaurants and bars and stuff like that, it's really tough to obviously remain open. But having a setting where kids will be able to try and get their work in, especially when space is already so limited. But even more so, I know they're up and operating, or at least to a degree. So everybody in my Sluggers family, I love them all very much, and always keeping up on them, and it's good to see them still getting their work in.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we'll have to give them a shout out in our video too.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Bill, you want to start it off with all the baseball stuff?
Sure. All right, we'll start off with this. What is going to be your upcoming, if the season starts in the near future, your upcoming walk-up song?
It was going to be Dior by Pop Smoke.
Okay. Great choice.
But we'll see how the restructuring of where we may be playing at. So
yeah,
I'm sure they'll have a speaker. So if not, it'll be playing in my head when I'm walking up there.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that part of your pregame playlist, or is that just kind of one of those things you vibe into lately?
The pregame playlist is I definitely have one, but it kind of varies. Sometimes I'm in a different mood, maybe before a game. So I try not to keep myself too boxed in with regards to little things like that. But he's definitely, some of his songs are definitely in there for sure, no doubt.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So what's something you kind of go to, get to the field? What's the first thing you really do when you get to the field? Like walk us through your typical game day ritual.
Sure. So I'll get to the stadium. Obviously, I'll change. Don't really do anything until you get out of your street clothes. It's kind of like a mental switch, really. So once that's done, I'll go into the training room and just kind of relax, stretch out for sure. Spend a lot of time in there just preparing. The more time you spend in there preparing, the less time you spend in there rehabbing, is the way I view it. So, stretching, working with the trainers to get my body ready. Maybe have a small meal before I go in there, before BP to work on my cage routine. So when I'm done my cage routine, I'll definitely watch some video. Obviously, I'm a starting pitcher, a couple of relievers who may be hot, who's kind of slated to come in. I'm definitely going to watch the closer, just so I can be relatively familiar with what's going on before the game starts. Kind of keep in the back of your mind. Again, after that, have a little bigger of a meal in preparation for BP, and then go out there, take my take my reps in center field. Off the bat, I like that's like the best you could really have, in my opinion, closest to, game speed. I'll do that. Then just kind of chill the rest of the time before the game starts. Definitely just keep active, keep your heart rate up a little bit. You don't want to get too cold. You just gets hot in the Midwest in the summer. So work a nice sweat, don't push it too much. And then just, again, keep the body flowing, maybe get in the hot tub a little bit, just stretch out, get ready to go, and then just roll into the game, just ready to play. Some days it varies. Obviously, some days you got to get a lift in, or you may need some extra work on the field or off the bat, whatever it is. But, 80% of the time, that's pretty much the most basic routine I got.
Right. Yeah. And I heard you say you have a meal prior. What's your go-to pregame meal, and what's your go-to postgame meal?
Yeah, so definitely something light, on the lighter side, that doesn't really feel too heavy when I'm swinging around and everything. Being like a lot of fruit, maybe a shake with some protein in it, and then just like a quinoa and broccoli, or like a spinach and rice, some type of combo like that is like a nice little base. And then the bigger meal will be, I'll have a meat, I'll have a chicken or a meat, whatever we're serving in there.
Right.
And then just, again, nothing like too crazy, but you definitely want, sustained energy throughout the game. So a lot of the meals we have in there are focused around that.
Who's the one guy that's kind of hovering around the food all the time in the locker
room? Who's always eating?
Because, there's always that one guy, every team, he's hovering around the food, looking to see what's left. Who's that guy in the Cardinals?
I want to say like Miles Michaelis. He's always nibbling on something. Like, he always got, nothing crazy, nothing too big, but he's always just kind of nitpicking around.
And then post game, it's kind of just whatever's out there. You kind of go out for dinner, or?
Yeah, I mean, post game when we're home, it'll just be whatever's there. It's a long season. They're long games sometimes, especially in our division. I mean, so the games are just always so competitive. So, everyone's kind of tired and just wants to get to bed. So, post game is just, in and out, pack it up in a bag and take it home.
So, what is one of your what's your favorite city outside of New York? Obviously, outside of St. Louis, what's your favorite city to go to? I know the division's kind of filled with a lot of cool cities like Pittsburgh, Chicago.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite cities you've been to?
Yeah, it's obviously always very cool to travel out west. Get an opportunity to play in LA, San Francisco. Those are obviously very cool, but we have far more experience obviously in the Central because of the division. And I have to say Chicago just has grown on me tremendously. It's an absolutely awesome city. Love playing against those guys, love competing against those guys, love winning and beating those guys at home, at their home place. There's just no better feeling. Chicago is just great. There's just a different buzz when the game starts. And the Cubs organization obviously has a tremendous fan base, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for. So, going in there really is an honor to play. And the night before, the night before a series start, we'll get in there a little earlier and we'll have a nice team dinner. Just create some good vibes going into the series. So I love going to Chicago.
Yeah.
City I got to.
Yeah.
Chicago's there.
All right. The Cardinals are quite the storied franchise, as we all know. What's your favorite part of being part of this franchise?
Yeah. I really do like everything about it. I like the prestige that comes with putting the uniform on. There's just a sound to it. There's just something about being within the Cardinals organization and being a part of winning teams that just stays with you wherever you go. And obviously that goes without saying in St. Louis. But even outside, it's just, baseball fans, regardless of their home teams, recognize, true baseball cities. They recognize how to play the game a certain way. There's just a level of respect for guys like that, and the Cardinals have been doing it for so long. So all that stuff, I definitely take with me into every game. I use it as something to build me up, not be scared of, not shy away from. I definitely believe that especially after having gone through it and understanding and seeing the inner workings of how this thing really goes about. You know, I definitely do believe I was picked by this organization for a reason. And I take that with me and I carry myself accordingly. And the best way I could put it is that, you know, 𝐒𝐿𝐔 says it best. He's owned it. He's told us now for a couple of years, you know, the Cardinals don't have any rules. They just have expectations. And I think that's very powerful because the organization itself, everybody who's worn the uniform prior to you being in it, you know, there's just a certain expectation. And there could be no baseball. There's no baseball right now. There could be no game. Obviously, there's no game right now. But I'm still acting as if a Cardinal would. I'm still acting as a Cardinals baseball player. That never leaves me. So I think just the whole aura, if you will, of the organization and those colors and what it means is what kind of means the most to me and stands out.
Sounds like the Patriot way up in New England, huh?
No doubt. Absolutely. It's another example of it for sure.
So you mentioned how it's, you know, all the guys before you, and there are some great names between Lou Brock, Ozzie Smith, Jim Edmonds, you know, some of the newer guys like Albert Pujols more recently. Is there one guy that stands out to you that you've actually had a chance to meet, maybe being a member of the Cardinals?
Yes, I've had the time to meet a number of Cardinals in the past. The organization does an amazing job, not only for the players and for us, but also for the fans to bring these guys back because they just mean so much to the city. You know, you mentioned Lou Brock. I've met Lou. I've met Ozzie countless times. I mean, Bob Gibson, you know, Pujols. I mean, there's so many you don't want to leave out, but,
Right.
You know, just so many different personalities that I've met over the years, but they're all bonded by the same thing, and that's just playing for the city. You know, some guys were lucky, you know, the Yachties, all these guys are incredibly lucky to have only played for one organization. But the thing that sticks with me the most is that guys who have played for other organizations and either got a chance to play with the Cardinals and ended their career there, or vice versa, they'll always say the Cardinals were by far the best organization they've been a part of. I've just heard that countless times. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me when these guys all just stand out in my mind so prominently. You know, I think the one that sticks to me the most has got to be Lou Brock. You know, I have the fortune to be able to, you know, be on the same team, if you will, as Willie McGee. You know, obviously he's a coach now, but we're on the same team, you know, fighting in the same direction. So he's obviously the man, but with somebody that I wish I could have more time with would be Lou Brock. He's just always got a smile on his face. Always, even to this day, has such an appetite for baseball, an appetite for young guys like myself who are just always trying and working to be the best version of ourselves to produce. That's all there is to it. He's still giving me little tips to try and help me steal better, take second better, or maybe lay a bunt down. So, I mean, he's just Iron Man in my eyes. So, you know, having a chance to talk to him was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I met Lou Brock once at one of the fan fests when it was at when the All-Star game was at Citi Field. I was able to meet Lou Brock, and I was able to ask Ozzie Smith a question. So I definitely I completely understand what you're saying, but with him being he's also like a larger than life figure, I think, for most baseball fans too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a baseball fan, it doesn't get better than Lou.
Yeah. So, you know, you debuted in 2017, I believe it was, right?
Yes.
That was your debut. What was that kind of like for you? Well, the day before, when you got the call, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a great day. You know, I really only had 2 goals in my entire life. I have, you know, little goals that I set for myself within a season, of course, and even on a day-to-day basis. But, you know, my lifetime goals really boil down to 2 things, and that's, you know, make it to the big leagues and you know, stay in the big leagues. I don't really have a number of years I want or whatever. I just want to play and be for as long as possible. You know, that's just my goal. And crossing off that lifetime goal of making it to the big leagues was just an incredible feeling, not only for myself, but for my parents and my high school coach and my summer team coach and my college coach and everybody involved in my career along the way. It meant a lot to a lot of people. So obviously that was very powerful. my dad has been pitching to me since I was 5 years old. So he's seen the entire progression. He's seen me graduate levels step by step. And for him, it definitely almost meant more, because for me, in my head, I'm always a big leaguer. In my opinion, I was born a big leaguer. That's just, you got to keep that swag and that confidence. So for me, it was great. I soaked it in for a second, but now I'm like, all right, like now we got to work to cross off that second goal, and that's going to take some time. So, it was awesome. My dad was there with me. We took an Uber or they sent the car actually from Memphis, which is our AAA location, to St. Louis. So it was that time of the day where a plane would have got me there too late. And then I started that night and been there ever since. So it's been a great ride so far.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. They sent you a car to pick you up.
They sent me a car, yeah.
So no Rajai Davis having to call an Uber type story.
I hope the organization picked up the tab for Davis.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the playoffs like, man? I mean, Billy and I were Mets fans. It's been a few years since we know what the playoffs were like. You were there just last year.
Mets suck. You can just say it outright.
Well, what was that like? What's the playoffs like, man?
Yeah, the playoffs were awesome. It's very cool. Having been there, having gone through it, being one series away from the World Series, I definitely feel more experienced, feel more confident. And I definitely maybe hyped it up a little bit too much in my head. And that's okay. It's definitely okay. I think the game that I was the most calm and most relaxed was actually when our backs were against the wall, Game 4 in DC. That's really where, I kind of look at it two ways. I say, well, all right, you relaxed, you were good, everything was cool, but it took you a few games too much, in my opinion, to get there. So going into it next time, when I do get that opportunity, and I will, I'll just constantly replay those feelings and those emotions, which I remember so vividly, over my head prior to Game 1 of the division series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be ready, both mentally and physically. So it's definitely a different experience because there was a different vibe amongst players. You could definitely see it, but it was just an incredible experience. I've never seen a group of guys get closer and tighter and rally for more for each other than in a championship series. I mean, that's just, you're one series away from a big time goal for a lot of us. So it was definitely a special time, and I just had an absolute blast with it every step of the way.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So, and real quick, last question on, for at least for me, on the playoffs. Being in a city like St. Louis, that you said it's just a baseball city. These people know their stuff. They're baseball fans, no matter what the team. Was there like a different do you think it was a different atmosphere in St. Louis with the playoffs as opposed to like a team, like a city like DC, where it's, they have all these other sports and because I know St. Louis lost the Rams, the Blues, they just won the Cup. So there's a lot going on in St. Louis with their teams being successful. Is there a different feel in St. Louis than there is in maybe other cities, you think, for the playoffs?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, for sure. DC, they've never won a World Series. It's a relatively new organization. I believe was that the first time they made the playoffs in their entire. I
think it was the first time they advanced past the NLDS.
They advanced past NLDS, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Worth hit I remember that. So yeah, I mean, they're really it's kind of uncharted territory, if you will, for not only the organization but for some of those guys in there. And the buzz in that city was definitely different. In St. Louis, it was awesome, but it was, again, like I mentioned, the Cardinals have expectations, and this organization expects to be there, which is great. And it was almost like a calming buzz, if you will, if that makes sense. It was like this is what it feels like. This is what this city's supposed to be. How we're supposed to be as a team year in and year out. And it was definitely just kind of, it spruced us up a little bit. Whereas I think in DC, it was just kind of everybody drink as much as possible and just yell because we've never really kind of experienced it. And that was also awesome. I mean, both sides of it were just equally as cool, just different. And soaking up both those atmospheres in different ways was just was really just fascinating. It was just a blast again to be a part of. And you love the regular season, you love those days, but those playoff games, man. I mean, it's just a different feel that you just can't stop chasing and thinking about. So I'm just looking forward to building up to getting there again.
Yeah. Actually, I have one question that just came to my head. Your number is 48. Does that have meaning, or did they just give it to you?
Yeah, that was just in my locker day one, and
Okay.
Yeah, I was number 8 in college as a Gator, so it's nice to have 8 in it. But
right.
But yeah, no, I mean, that was in my locker, and I stuck with it.
All right.
Was there a meaning behind 8 in at the gate at Florida?
Yeah, it's a really symmetrical number. Looks good on the back of my jersey. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, can't knock that. Yeah. What was the experience of playing in Florida? The whole college and the baseball.
It was great. It was, very different for sure. I was, New York kid, New York City roots, going down to Gainesville, Florida, prior to obviously being a Gator. If you told me where in Florida, actually, let me take that back. If you told me where Gainesville was in Florida, I would only say, wait, I only thought Miami was the only city in Florida. So, I came to learn that Florida, is obviously a lot bigger. And, being up there was definitely different. It was a culture shock for sure. But the one thing I had was baseball there day in and day out. So, I met a number of very, very nice people there. I still keep in touch with a coach named Brad Weitzel, who just taught me so much about the game, on the field and off it. So, those 3 years were awesome for so many reasons. And I definitely am very proud to have been at one time a Florida Gator.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, 2015, you guys had this great run down to out to Omaha. What was Omaha like as a whole? Not just the experience of with your boys, but just the experience of the College World Series.
Yeah, that was just like top, however, 3, top 5, whatever the number is. That was top moments of my baseball career. Was that first at bat. I led off that College World Series against Miami, for the team. It was either an 0-2 or a 1-2 slider that I hit out for a home run. And it just kind of sparked something within me, knowing like we've really arrived. We're here, and now we're one batter in. We're already beating these guys, on a bigger stage. And that just kind of the energy involved there day in and day out was just, I don't know, it's just incredible. There really just, there's nothing more to say. Before I got there, it was such incredible teams. They had Mike Zunino, Preston Tucker, Brian Johnson, Austin Maddox, Nolan Fontana. They had guys who were part of that whole Gator dynasty that were going to Omaha like nothing, winning 40, 50 games a year, just putting up ridiculous numbers. So when I got there, the same expectation was there, but unfortunately for us, the talent really wasn't. My freshman year was a losing season. We went 29-30. That was the first time that happened in a while, and I still didn't like it too much. Second year, we I think we won about 40 games, and then went 2-Q in the regionals, and that was that. And then my junior year, we kind of went off, and everything got back to normal. So in my eyes, getting to Omaha wasn't just in 2015. It was the 2 years prior to that of a build up. That's kind of the way I saw it. So, in my head again, having to work so hard for it, having to wait for it until my junior year, to just have an Omaha berth, it meant so much more to me individually. So, I just let it all hang out, and I had an absolute blast. And yeah, man, my Gator days were awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, and you had quite a few teammates that turned out to be major leaguers, and us being Mets fans, What was it like with Pete?
Yeah. I get this question a lot, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Pete was my when I was a freshman, Pete was the guy I was assigned to kind of take around campus. And we had a good time, for 2 years. For 2 years after that, we obviously played together, shared a lot of great moments. At one point in time, we were hitting back to back. We really kind of fed off each other. At least I know for a fact. I can only speak for myself, and I fed off of Pete. How talented he was. I wanted to be just as good as the best. And I always viewed him as the best. People ask me all the time, well, did you expect him to hit all those home runs and this and that? And it's not about numbers in my eyes. It's not about, I don't look at players and say, oh, he can hit 30 home runs or this and that. I just view them more as their ability to go out there and consistently play the game of baseball. Just keep it super simple. Go out there and just be a product of this game and go out there and just play your game. And with regards to that, I knew right away Pete was somebody you could definitely rely on. And, the number of home runs he hit, last year, that's obviously great, but his process and how he got there, it doesn't surprise me by any means. So, I recognize that early in his career at UF. And, again, like I said, I just fed off of his energy, and it made me better at times for sure.
So is there like a little friendly competition between you and Pete still at the major league level? You guys being Gators and your friends. Is there a competition there?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we definitely have a different type of game. I definitely am constantly working, constantly finding ways to make myself more productive offensively. So we definitely have different types of games when it comes to just, again, being the best version of ourselves. But there's always going to be love there. There's always going to be competition there, and I'm sure he would say the same. Everyone just want the best for everybody. So yeah, hopefully we get a time to play each other this upcoming year. I don't know how it's going to go.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, if it's in New York, we'll be there. Don't worry.
That's good.
What was your go-to metal bat in college?
I did it was the one-piece Easton. It was like yellow.
Oh, right.
So I had that my junior year. The previous 2 years, I used like it's like a two-piece Easton. It was gray. It wasn't really any good. But the one-piece metal one was really good. I took the grip off of it, made it super thin, so it's just one piece, and I'll just kind of whip it as best I could in the zone. Had a good year.
Oh, that's great.
What do you swing now?
I bounce between a Marucci, a Victus, and a Chandler. I swing an AP5, or I've messed around a little bit with an MR24, S318. So pretty similar models.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like a fun time though. Gainesville, Pete Alonso, nice Easton bat. Sounds like a fun time.
We had our fun times for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Could only imagine. I have one more question actually regarding going back to baseball in the big leagues, and that's how have you not won a Gold Glove? Because you are without a doubt the best outfielder I have ever seen.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No doubt.
Thank you. It's always been a desire of mine to take home the Gold Glove. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get two. I don't know how many I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna get a whole bunch of them. And it's, as with anything in life, the good things, they take some time to get to. So, I'm just gonna keep playing my game. Gonna not look at anybody else and just continue to look in the mirror and be the best defensive center fielder, not only in the NL but the AL, because Gold Gloves are nice, but platinum sound a lot nicer too. So I'm just gonna keep bettering myself, man, and just go out there and just take what I know I can earn. So
right.
So yeah, I'll get some, but I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course.
You got a spot in the house picked out for it?
Yeah, right in the pillow next to me. right on my king size bed, right next to me.
Great answer.
There you go.
Oh,
Kind of a more general question. You know, the Players Weekend, obviously, it's a great thing what their Major League Baseball is doing. Your Players Weekend nickname, Tots. How did that start? And I know you did a partnership with Sonic, I think. It was something that you guys did. How did that all come to be?
Yeah. So my nickname is Gator Tots, and that's stuck with me since my freshman year of high school, where an upperclassman just made a comment, basically just a playoff of tater tots and Gator Tots, and it just kind of stuck. We're on the trip out to Arizona when I was younger. We did a spring training trip in high school to Arizona, and he was on the team, so he knows who he is, and I've always given him credit for that nickname. So that just kind of stuck. I just kept it as Tots, not Beta Tots. And the partnership with Sonic was the Beta Tots, and it was, obviously a playoff of tater tots as well, and they served you can actually order on the menu in St. Louis, specific St. Louis locations. You can order Beta Tots, and they come with jalapenos, maybe some cheese, some ground beef on top. I mean, they're pretty tasty. So if you're ever in the St. Louis area and you want to go to a Sonic, you should definitely grab some tater tots. Buy Beta Tots.
Did you come up with the what was on the tots, or was this kind of something they presented to you saying, hey, listen, you might have to put your name on this? Or did you say, I want this on that, I want the jalapenos on it?
It was a conversation that some people who make these decisions, it was a joint conversation, and I was a part of it. And believe you have the option too at times to add or subtract something, but the main part of it is the jalapenos with the cheese. And again, it was more of a group effort, if you will.
Sounds like we gotta try that, Billy.
Yeah, seriously.
Take a roadie out there.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite meal? Since we're talking about food here. What's your go-to meal when you're home?
Yeah, favorite food. Like healthy, not healthy.
Whatever, man. Both.
It's got to be.
I mean, I like breakfast food. I like breakfast food a lot. Like there's nothing better than like a bacon, egg, and cheese on like a blueberry bagel with a nice coffee in the morning. There's nothing better, in my opinion.
That's the New York.
Like a late night, yeah, a snack. I feel like a cinnamon toast crunch, for sure. Maybe like an Entenmann's cake, something that you're not supposed to have, but it just lurks in the back of your head the later it gets. And during the day, for dinner I love steak. Just your steak and potatoes. My mother's Italian. She makes a lot of beautiful Italian food. I have some, my mother, a number of people on my mother's side were, they took me to a bunch of Brooklyn delis. I could never not have an Italian sub, or, it just goes on and on. I love Italian food. So, I like everything, but those are definitely my favorite.
So you call it a sub, or has it always been a hero for you? Because I went to school in Pennsylvania. I got some friends who call it a hoagie. What is it, a hero, sub, or a hoagie?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard hero, sometimes a sub. It just kind of depends who's making it, honestly. Like, you got to kind of tailor it to for the person who's making it. Otherwise, they're not going to understand you, so.
Had to get that one in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we know that you are maybe the most fashionable Major League ball player. What's your favorite designer brand?
My favorite brand, I like to wear, and I might be the only person that does this, but the brands I like to wear, I would imagine if my entire closet was just the brand. Like, would I be okay with it? You know? So with that said, I think every article of clothing that 𝐒𝐒𝐲 makes is incredible. I love Saint Laurent. I like Dior. I wear a lot of vintage T-shirts, so I think that's cool because a lot of the pieces are different. The way they're washed, the way they're distressed, maybe. They're super old, obviously. So, you know, I'm always vintage shopping for T-shirts.
Right.
I think you know, the graphic T-shirt look with jeans and nice boots is always a good way to go. But you know, my fashion is it may not seem simple, but it really is simple. I just have a look that I kind of go for, and yeah, those few designers I named definitely hammer that home for me.
Yeah.
I like Rude also. Rude's a good brand.
Right. Yeah, I saw the video of you and who was it, Max?
Jack Flaherty shopping for Schilt.
Yeah, shopping for Schilt. And that
was a lot of fun.
That was a dope outfit that you picked out for him, right? Now, my buddy Max here, he ain't the best dresser. What advice would you give to him?
What advice would I give to our friend Max over here? Yeah. I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, if I would give myself some advice, what would I say to myself? Maybe, you know, you can't be scared to wear something that people might not think is cool. You know, sometimes I walk into like a really nice restaurant in the city wearing like a ripped T-shirt and jeans and some like designer boots or whatever, and everyone thinks I look funny, but I think I look dope. So
yeah,
you know, you obviously want to be respectful, but you know, don't be scared to wear whatever you want to wear. You know. So maybe that's my advice. Maybe that'll change it up for him.
There you go.
I get shit on for wearing everything. Like anything I pick out of my closet, I get shit on for.
He dresses like he has 3 kids and his wife is about to divorce him.
Every comment on my Instagram from him is, why do you look like a dad? Why do you look like a dad?
I know that look.
Hey, it works sometimes. Fuck you, Billy. So, you know, style, big part of your style is your hair, man. I'm not gonna lie. We put out a thing on our socials. If you could ask Harrison Bader one thing, a lot of things we got back was about the hair. How do you get to look so good, man?
I mean, you can see here, you know, I got nice little mohawk in the back and everything going. I hope nothing bad came up in the background of where I'm staying at, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, I'm, you know, I call it a stage, you know, I'm in front of a lot of people, or people are looking at me and I'm not really looking in their direction, obviously, because I always just try to stay in my lane and I try to stay focused on, you know, whatever I'm trying to do, you know, whether it be in season, whatever it is, I'm always trying to stay on task and stay in my lane. But, you know, I'm exposed to a lot of people. I'm exposed to a lot of people's judgments. So with that said, you know, you might as well look good. I like to look good. I like to, you know, wear cool clothes, all that stuff. I just want to just always just, you know, be me. And, you know, with that said, the hair is obviously a part of that. So I've had a few hairstyles over the years. And I think that, you know, just taking time to just kind of express yourself in any way you can, whether with a different hairstyle, as long as it's within the guidelines of the team's, you know, team's rules, there's nothing wrong with it. You can always have fun with it. So, you know, obviously I had the super long curly hair. That was the first time I've grown my hair out, and that was cool. But it was, you know, kind of ran its course in my opinion. And, you know, curly hair, so it's coming out in a different way. So who knows what's next? I may buzz it all and then bleach it. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to finding out, though.
You mentioned the team rules. The Cardinals have rules for hair?
Well, you know, when I had my long hair, it was all cool, but maybe I was a special exception. I don't know. There's not necessarily rules. It's just again, there's just an expectation of how you should look. And if it, you know, gets a little too much in certain ways, they might ask you to tidy it up a little bit. Just like the Yankees or any other organization having a policy about facial hair, you know? So along those lines, just want to look good and professional.
So
All right.
just don't do the Charlie Blackman.
Yeah, I mean, that's his swag.
Yeah,
That's
rocks
something that he definitely owns it. No doubt about it.
You think you can grow it out like that?
I'm growing my beard, during this time. I don't really think I'm. That I don't with hair. I do like a beard. I think it's, in these circumstances, I think having a beard is fun for me.
Yeah, we lost you a little bit there real quick, but glad you're back.
Sorry. Was it cutting out?
Well, just a little bit, but
yeah, don't worry, we're good.
We're good now. We're back. Is there something you said you're growing the beard out during quarantine. Is there something kind of you've also been doing that maybe you haven't had time to do, like fixing something around the Florida house, or getting in extra work that you haven't really been able to during the season normally? Something you're doing during quarantine like that?
Yeah. Definitely spending more time talking to my friends, playing some video games from the past that I kind of grew up with, in high school. I'm a big Halo guy. I love Grand Theft Auto. Nazi Zombies was a blast for all of us growing up. Those throwback games. We're re-downloading on these platforms, which is incredible that they can remaster them.
Mm-hmm.
So taking advantage of that and just again trying to have fun with it, stay positive. My friends are definitely a positive influence in my life. So something as simple as playing video games with them, and just catching up and just hearing their voices, allows the time to go a lot smoother for me.
Yeah.
Creating an Instagram account, a separate Instagram account that's going to highlight just articles of clothing that are in my closet. Working on it now. It's gonna be called Bader's Closet, which is super simple and original, but what it is. And again, it'll just kind of be a fun little thing on the side. I like I said, I shop a lot of vintage. I wear a lot of cool pieces that are distressed, and sometimes are colorful. They might be a little rarer. So just showcasing that will be fun. And then the last thing is I'm in search for a classic car. I've been talking with a number of people trying to source the vehicle. So so that's definitely fun. I have more time to kind of do some more research and get that done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all works out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. All right. What is a hidden talent that you have that no one knows?
Hidden talent.
Yeah. You juggle.
Can you rap?
You can't rap. In an alternate universe, hitting a round ball thrown at you 100 miles an hour with a wooden stick would be a hidden talent. But we live in a world that celebrates that talent. So outside of baseball, I gotta say I'm not a singer, I'm not a dancer. I don't really have any weird talents or quirky talents. I wish I did, but yeah, no, I got nothing.
Yeah. All right. Max, you want to get into the rapid fire?
I mean, real quick, shopping with Jack Flaherty for Schilt. How did that go about? And you think you'll do it again? Maybe off camera, just kind of help your manager with his wardrobe.
No, I mean, Schultz got it put together. He definitely has a style about him. I think he's doing just fine. I don't think he's going to need to consult Jack or I or anybody else on his style for sure. I think he's moving in the right direction with regards to that for sure. And that was a lot of fun. The Cardinals, obviously, they're PR people. They recognize that Jack and I have a passion or a liking for fashion. That rhymed. That was funny. And I think that it was cool to kind of put the two together. I'm from the East Coast. He's from the West Coast. We definitely dress differently. We agree on some things, but other things, it's just his style. And, he dresses really well. The way he presents himself is awesome. And I think that bringing the two of us together, in efforts of making one outfit for Schilt, which was the goal of the entire thing, was cool because it was funny when we were kind of going through it, what we liked and why we liked it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope we could do that again.
Does he still wear the shoes you picked out?
Oh yeah, all the time. He loves them. He loves them a lot, and it makes me happy because again, I know I picked those out, and man, I knew he was just gonna like them. I just got an eye for it.
They're fire.
Thank you.
So Jack Flaherty is the second most stylish guy on the Cardinals.
I'm not gonna. Again, it's just different. I'm not gonna rank him or me in front of him or him in front of me. I just in my head I have the best style. So that's all I'll say.
And yeah, we do like to do a little.
Jack's my boy, so it's all good.
Yeah, we do like to do a little rapid fire, and I know Billy's got him ready to go. So Billy,
oh, you want me to take it? All right.
Yeah, go right ahead, take it away, man.
All right, we'll start it off with favorite animal.
Favorite animal, a jaguar.
All right. Favorite color.
Actually, no, a panther.
Panther.
Favorite color.
Yeah. Say it again. You cut out. My bad.
Ox blood.
Ox blood.
Ox blood.
I'll have to look that up. Vacation spot.
Favorite vacation spot. Thus far, Barcelona. Somewhere I want to go, Australia.
All right. Hobby outside of baseball.
Shopping.
Favorite movie.
Without a doubt, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Great movie. Favorite show.
Favorite show. I need some background noise and just a little giggle here and there. The Office all day. A show that has been recommended to me nonstop that I don't know why I haven't started yet, but is The Sopranos.
I just finished that. Best show.
That's what I've heard.
Highly recommend.
Now's a good time to start it.
Yeah. All right, let's go. What's your favorite song right now?
Favorite song? I'm gonna say it's been mine for a while now, but it's "Jungle" by A Boogie.
Okay, yeah, New York.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if you'll tread on this, but best dressed teammate.
Best dressed teammate would be Flaherty.
All right, worst dressed teammate.
Jed Jerko. Love you, Jed. If you're out there.
And then last one for me. What's your favorite MLB Network show?
I like what's the one with what are some of the ones?
There's Intentional Talk. That's Chris Rose and Kevin Millar.
Yeah, I like Intentional Talk.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Millar.
Yeah.
He's great.
It's a pretty good.
Team funny guy.
Team funny guy. Dexter Fowler.
Who's the guy that no one dares to mess with?
Definitely Yachty. No doubt about it. That's the caballo right there.
Your dream dinner. Any three guests dead or alive?
Oh, that's a good one. All right. Number one has got to be. Damn, this is a tough one. Put me on the spot. I'm gonna say, I want one from each, like, culture of society that I'm interested in. I want to know some secrets. So I think I would want to talk to JFK. I definitely want like a DJ. Maybe someone like Avicii.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a very complicated dinner, by the way, to make for a number of reasons, unfortunately. But the third one would be, all right, we got JFK, we got Avicii. Maybe Um, maybe. I'm trying to really hammer this one home here, boys. Give me a second. I want to go with Muhammad Ali. There we go.
Ooh, I like
one.
that. Sounds like a great dinner. Steak dinner?
Hell of a dinner. Hell of a dinner. Yeah, probably steak dinner.
Who's got the worst hair in baseball?
Who's got the worst hair in baseball?
Wow.
I don't know, but anybody who's bald, I'm sorry. that's got to be the answer. Yeah, anybody who's bald.
And then my last one, it's dream road trip.
Dream road trip. That's a good one. There is, I don't know what it's called, but I've always just kind of seen it and think it's really cool. But these guys take these crazy exotic cars and they drive them through like the mountains. And it's like one after another. I don't know what it's called, but I've seen it on Instagram a lot. And there's advertisements on the cars, and there are, two drivers or two passengers in the car. And it's just like it might be like in like Switzerland or something. I don't know, but I think something like that, maybe just over the course of 7-10 days, maybe just kind of, something on the, domestically would definitely be cool, but kind of want to branch a little farther out for that. So yeah, whatever that thing is, we could figure out what that is.
That's awesome. And we also had some fan questions. We did get some that came back from Instagram. Sebas Duran 26. What's your favorite baseball moment in your career so far?
I mean, like night one of the big leagues when I scored on a sacrifice fly that actually 𝐒𝐿𝐃𝐁𝐈𝐓𝐄 hit to Cargo in right field. I scored and we won. It was just a regular season game. It was just middle of the season, but obviously it meant a lot to me. It just kind of felt like I was like, have arrived in St. Louis, in a loud fashion, if you will, I guess. But like something that's like definitely gonna stick with me for sure when I'm done playing was just like the feeling of like my name being called out in the postseason, and that's definitely at home too, because that was special. On the road it was cool, in Atlanta it was definitely cool, but when I was like home in that white uniform and just everything leading up to it, and it's just because I've been a part of postseasons before, but never at this level, and this is like the culmination of it all. There's no level to go after here, so finally crossing off again on the list of like playoff berths. I've done it in high school, I did it in college, went to Omaha, did it in AA, in the minor leagues, but to do it at the big leagues was awesome. So the very first time was that, yeah.
Baseball Gal 48. If you were to get a tattoo, what would it be?
I have a couple of very creative ideas that I don't really want to speak into the universe now, but when I get it on my body, you'll be the first to know. How about that?
One of our buddies, Player Tea Party, asking when he delivered the best Bader bomb. I'm guessing it's a home run.
Yeah, Bader
very
bomb,
vague.
home run.
Yeah.
I hit a ball into the concourse in Colorado off like an up and in fastball. Just I hit. I mean, it says like 450, but there's no way I hit it farther than that. It was on the concourse. That was a pretty good one. The first time I went backside, in the big leagues, that one felt amazing. That was in the cold and through the wind in Cincinnati. That was obviously great. But, I got to tell you, every single one I hit in the big leagues, however far it goes, wherever it goes, if it clears that fence and it's in between those big yellow poles, it feels amazing. So, every Bader bomb is a good one in my head.
And a follow-up to that, why isn't he following Player Tea Party? So, great sense of humor there. If you like puns, they're a great account. And our buddy Matt Cantone. Cereal before the milk or milk before the cereal?
Cereal before milk.
A couple others from outside Instagram. What motivates you to keep going?
I'm not really one of those guys who, I've been recruited out of high school, all that stuff. And that, like the kind of being the underdog, I guess, if you will, like I thought that was like my motivation, because I was in my head, I was always playing good baseball in high school and I wasn't getting that much love until University of Florida came around, which was super late. But before that, before the UF, I was a walk-on and all that stuff. And I thought that like being this underdog and nobody thinks I'm good enough or this and that. I thought that was like my motivation, but going through the game in different levels and just kind of growing up in your own way and kind of understanding, different perspective, I've realized that it wasn't ever about me not being good enough or me not being whatever enough for somebody else. It was just always the driving force is always that you constantly have to reprove yourself and prove yourself. And it doesn't matter what school you go to. It doesn't matter where you come from or anything. Nothing matters with regards to going out there and playing your best brand of baseball. So to answer your question, what motivates me is constantly having to show people that I'm the best I can be, like always playing my A game and not ever getting, because I have in the past, not ever getting frustrated if I don't produce the result I necessarily want, because I've played enough in my entire life to realize that my A game comes out best when I'm mentally sound and I'm mentally confident in everything in that. Just the look on people's faces, the feedback you get, whether it be results in the stat book or, these social media platforms are so accessible that, sometimes you'll see comments or read articles, getting positive feedback, which I'm going to get. I have gotten in the past. I'm constantly chasing it. That's like my affirmation, is just constantly wanting to have those articles put out, constantly wanting to keep winning games, constantly want to, I want 600 at bats, all those numbers, all those things that stack up as a result of knowing you got to go out there and prove it every single day is something that just motivates me more so than turning it to a negative, like, oh, I'm never good enough, so let me show all of you. Like I don't have to show or prove anything to anybody. I need to reprove to myself that I can go out there and be the best version of myself, and that'll be more than good enough. So it's definitely a fine line for sure, but yeah.
We got a couple more. Someone wanted to know, have you changed anything in the cages in regards to your hitting mechanics to help with your offense? A little more technical than the rest.
No, again, a lot of it is just mental. Last year I was pitched differently than I've ever been used to, and I was looking far too much around me, for different players and different coaches and maybe people in my past. I was looking for them to provide me with answers when, again, as the season progresses and you go through different struggles, you really understand that the only person who's going to help you through those times is the man in the mirror. And finally looking at myself and looking at my own skill set and whatever was going on, it allowed me to take a step back and say, now I can, now I see it. Now I understand. It's not about, I'm the only one that goes to the box with me. My dad's giving me hitting advice in when I was a little leaguer, and then my coach at UF gave me advice, and then, this coach in pro ball gives you advice. But at the end of the day, the only person you go to the box with is yourself. So with regards to like some physical stuff, it's just a different understanding of what we're trying to do, and it all comes from within. So so that, definitely something I experienced. I worked on. It wasn't necessarily like put the ball here and swing this way. That's not how you play baseball. It's not how you're going to have consistent success. So yeah.
And then I guess someone's a Yachty fan because they want to know your favorite story about Yachty or your favorite interaction with Yachty.
All right, let me think.
That you can tell, at least.
Yeah. I mean, like, there have definitely been a lot of great moments. There's no doubt about it. Personally, individually, but I think just the best Yachty moments are just really every day when you see him. I mean, people don't really understand. Like, it's just so easy to say names and toss names around. But, I just am incredibly blessed and humbled and thankful, literally just for the opportunity to go out there and play and put on the same uniform as Yadier Molina. I mean, not everybody's like me in the sense that I'm a baseball nerd. Everything about this game, everything about the inner workings of it, inside the game, strategy-wise, there's nothing more I love than just playing baseball and being in that zone. So to me, and with that, there are players that you attach to the game that are just solidified and just etched in concrete as just the guys. Like, I've always said it, my entire way coming up, like, in studying different players. I studied Torrey Hunter. I don't really know Torrey Hunter's batting average. I don't know how many all-star games he was a part of. I don't know how many gold gloves he won, but I can tell you everything about Torrey Hunter just based upon the way he plays the game. And that's what I focused on. I didn't focus on the stats. What I'm trying to say is, I would always say that there are just certain guys that sit at the table, like, guys that are done playing however long it may be, this guy got to see at the table, that guy got to see at the table. And Yachty's just definitely one of those guys who just has just a golden throne at that table of just, you're talking, it doesn't get better than Yachty. Maybe you might compare him to like Jimmy Fox or something, but I wasn't around for Jimmy Fox. So he's my Jimmy Fox, he's my Yogi Berra. So going out there and just playing with him every day, just, I'm right, right across from him. So like I view myself as a reverse catcher, on the baseball field. So whatever Yachty does, I got a mirror. So, if we're off, it's because I wasn't where I was supposed to be as a result of where Yachty's position. So, just in my own head being like, what is Yachty doing? I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is sick. So yeah, all those moments kind of combined, if you will.
All right, man, it's been an absolute blast talking to you.
Appreciate it, brother. You guys too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we had one last question that we're going to leave off with. And it was, have you called your mother? Have you remembered to call your mom? That was an actual Instagram comment we got.
Yeah, I speak to my mother every day.
All righty. Harrison Bader, man, it's been great. Billy, any last questions or comments?
Nah, just appreciate you coming on. Thank you. And can't wait to see you get to play in 2020 soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can do this again sometime, and there'll be baseball being played this year, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you guys again for having me. I really appreciate it all. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Anytime, man. Anytime you want to come back on, just let us know.
All right. Sounds good. I'll see y'all later.
Have a good one, man. All right. So that was Harrison Bader, St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes, sir.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Good guy.
Great guy. Gave us some great answers.
Very personable. I like that. You know what? You get the New York vibes from him, and I like that. Like,
you were able to sense the grit.
Yeah, like honestly, for me, like he said at the beginning, we're the same age. For me, it kind of felt like, it was somebody like my old high school teammate, my old high school friend. That's honestly how it felt like. It was just like right into it, and it was comfortable from the get-go.
Yeah, there really wasn't. He was very, very down to earth, and you could tell that his attitude was earned, not given.
Yes, he's a Northeast ball player, man. You got to grind. You got to have the swagger like he has, but man, you got to grind and you got to show it.
And we wish him obviously nothing but the best of luck in the future. And we really covered. You and I both have a whole page full of notes, and
yeah,
it was a nice about an hour with him. And
yeah, more.
Yeah,
that's
didn't expect that, but
and he's got another interview in 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I figured we let him go, and he's got to take a shit or something like that. Got to do that beforehand, but do what he's got to do before his next interview. But yeah, no, great guy, and yeah, we really covered. I think looking at our notes, just about everything.
Yeah, I missed a couple things, but they were like Yeah. That's it.
I mean, he gave great answers. Got a couple things we can quote him on.
Yes.
Really great stuff. Really excited to put this episode out.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be quite the work, but I'm there for it.
Hey, man. Glad he's doing well. Glad his family's safe and the works.
Of course. Yeah, good guy.
Great guy.
Glad that we had him on.
Yeah, I mean, for our first major league player, I don't think there's a better interview to have right there.
No, of course not.
Like you hear all about all these guys. Oh, they're great guys off the field. Great guys off the field, but then there's Harrison Bader, I think.
Yeah, Bader was he was as advertised, honestly.
Oh yeah, 100%. Very personable, very down to earth.
Yeah,
very New York.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good with that. That was good.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been Take a Pitch. What else is there to say?
Really, nothing else. We'll talk Red Sox punishment next week.
You like Cardinals hat?
Dude, that's a fire hat.
Thank you.
But yeah. Peace.
Yee.